Hello, everyone. This is Miss Irene, and it's the second session for Mendelian genetics. So I hope that you're all comfortable wherever you are, and I will try as much as I can to make this as direct and simple because definitely Mendelian genetics is just simple. Sige. So last meeting we had discussed about the basics. So it started with the study of an Austrian monk named Gregor Mendel, and he studied about Pisum sativum or some peas. So with his time, he studied a lot of these peas, cross-pollinated, self-pollinated, bred the pure ones to another pure ones, to hybrid ones, and then he developed three main laws, which made him much known as the father of genetics in this age. So genetics is the study of heredity or how the information from parents to offsprings are passed on. So actually these are the chromosomes or the DNA that were passed on. So we have terms like trait. So the trait refers to any characteristics such as hair color, eye color, seed shape, flower color, and so on. And these terms, and also we have the terms gene and allele. So inside the cell, there would be the nucleus, and then that would contain the chromosomes, which are the condensed version of the DNA. So long strands of DNA, and then in specific sections of the DNA, you will have the genes, wherein it gives instructions for certain characteristics, for a certain trait to appear. So we also have different versions of a gene. So from one parent to another, the mother contains a gene for this color, and maybe the other parent, the father contains a gene for another color. So these different varieties of a gene are called alleles. And then we had two main types of alleles. We had the dominant allele and the recessive allele. In the rule for complete dominance, there is a dominant allele which will come out much more than the other, and the other one is hidden or overridden. So that is called the recessive allele. All right, and we had what else? We had some terminology. So whenever we meet or whenever we have to use the dominant allele, it is represented by a capital letter like this. And for a recessive allele, it will be a lowercase letter. And these letter combinations, so whenever you're seeing gene combination, letter combinations, these are the genotypes, which are the specific gene combination. And the physical manifestation or the outer one, the one that we can see, for example, the color of the flower, which is could be red, could be white. So what we can see physically, that is termed as phenotype. So genotype, phenotype. And okay, for example, we had this one last meeting. So there could be different genotypes like this one. And then the dominant allele will come out. So, for example, both dominant, it would also be the dominant. And this one, only one dominant, still a dominant trait or a dominant allele will come out. But when both recessive alleles are together, like this one, the recessive trait will come out. So this combination, this is called the homozygous dominant. In this one, homozygous recessive, and this one is the heterozygous. Okay, genotype, we had this one. Okay, so this time, let's try to actually use them through a Punnett square. So we had this one already. Okay, so there are 7 characteristics that were observed by Mendel in his study of the peas, and he noticed that there were dominant traits and recessive traits. So, for example, he tried to breed pure white, pure white flowers, and then he crossbred it with another pure violet flower, and he found out that in their offsprings, when these plants grow, they all had violet flowers. And then when he tried to cross them once again in the second generation, and when these offspring grew, they developed mostly the violet flowers, but there's one white that came out. So what he observed is that somehow this trait was hidden in the first generation, and then it came out. So let's try to see giunsa na siya pagkahimo. So another example is this one. This is the parent generation, F1 generation, or first generation, second generation. You're crossing pure tall is against pure short peas, and then the first generation would all be tall, but then there's one short pea that came out in the second generation. So here, so what happened is when you cross the both pure plants, the result would all be hybrid, and so you'd be having, oh, where's my pen? So you'd be having pure capital letters, and then pure small letters, and then ngano daw nga hybrid na siya. Okay, let's try some examples. So this time we are going to do monohybrid crosses. Mono means one, so we are going to consider only one trait. For example, just the color flower, just the color of the flower, or just the shape of the seed, and so on. There's actually another kind, dihybrid, wherein we're going to combine more than one. Or, yeah. So how to make a Punnett square? We are going to make this grid. Marsha Oka ng square, or it's up to you. Yes. And then on one side, there's a parent here and another parent genotype. You're going to separate the letters like this. And then you're going to combine. So whichever is found here, you will write in here, and then sulat po diri. So for example, capital Y, capital Y, capital Y, small letter y, like this. And then you will determine which phenotype will come out of the genotypes that you have combined. So let's try some examples. Starting with this one, seed shape. So there are two possible seed shapes for peas. We have round and wrinkled. And it was found out that round shapes of the pea, circle man ang pea, no? Sige, round will be dominant than the wrinkled. We will not be using different letters. Like it won't be the capital R, then W na po diri, no? We will just use the letter, only one letter lang siya. Usually it's the dominant nga letter. So for example, big R for round and small r for wrinkled. And then you're going to cross it with manyang situation. So usually you will be given situations. Round seeds crossed against wrinkled seeds. So how could this be? Hatagan mo ana o combination. For example, homozygous dominant nga round, and homozygous recessive nga wrinkled. So we will agree that we will write the first set here on the side, pabarog siya ng usa kay pa across siya. So also take note that you're going to separate the letters per grid. So one small r, big R, small r, and small r. And then diretso na siya, pair. So nani, so write the r and small r. And then next na pod, just this one. And then you can guess now. Then diri na pod. And then kanina pod versus kani. So inana siya. So what happens is you will have the resulting genotypes. Then you will be asked to write the results. So the genotypes are naakay 4 ka hetero, yes, heterozygous. And then you will have all round, wait, let me erase. So you'll also be asked to describe what are the resulting phenotypes. For example, this one is heterozygous, and then naman siya dominant na big letter, mugawas jud ang dominant. So this one will be round, this one will be round, kanipod round, round. So all round, upat ka buok nga round. Unya, genotypic ratio. You will be asked to write the genotypic ratio. What is that about? You may say all alike, but in other exercises, you'll be asked to write the actual ratio. So, ang combination ano niya kay homozygous dominant, which is 0, walay homozygous dominant, na is 2, upat ka buok hetero, dayon 0 pud ang homozygous recessive. Then phenotypic ratio, in dominant is to recessive, you will write pila ka dominant, upat, then ang recessive nga ni-appear kayo 0, wala. Nana. That's how you do the Punnett square. Another example. As a review sa. So, when you cross a pure dominant and a pure recessive or homozygous dominant against homozygous recessive, the offsprings would all be heterozygous. Or in other words, hybrids. Inani sila. So, tanan daw nilang result kay big letter, small letter, big letter, small letter, big letter, small letter, big letter, small letter, 100%. All 4 of them would be hybrids or heterozygous. Next is, this is called the F1 generation, and same sila tanan. Example, violet sila tanan or round sila tanan. Ila pong ratios of phenotypic and genotypic all alike, the same. Now, how about seed shape, round versus wrinkled? Pero you had round, you're going to cross round seeds is to round seeds. What if ang katong mga anak nila inmo na sag i-combine? So, di ba, a while ago we had resulting upat kabok hybrid. So, atong itry o combine. So, you're just going to, you'll be given this. And sometimes you have to figure out, pero nana na yung mga clues. So, again, i-write na to siya in ani. Big letter, small letter, unya combine, combine, big R. Kani kay big R, small r. Kani siya kay big R, small r. So write the big letter first. And then this one, R and small r. So that is the resulting genotypes. Nana, siya. Let's check if we got it right. Yes. Yes. So the final answer, what happens is, dili na sila hybrid tanan. Dili na sila hybrid tanan. Naay homozygous dominant, naay homozygous recessive, and naapoy mga heterozygous. So this time, for genotype, you will list everything na inyo makita. Usa ka recessive, homozygous dominant, duha ka hybrid or hetero, dayon usa ka homozygous recessive. And then the phenotypes present, you would be seeing kani siya round mo ginang resulta ani, kani siya round pud ni kay dominant man ang big R, round pud ni siya, but this one small r wrinkled na ni ang resulta ani niya. So yang seed kay kulot-kulot na gamay iyang shape, surface niya kani kay circle yun sila. Inana. So i-list nimo tanan ang possible nga physical na makita. So round, na ay wrinkled. Pila ka round? Tulo. Ang wrinkled, usa. Because sometimes you'll be also asked to describe pila ka percent ang round, pila ka wrinkled. So if that's 4 divisions, so ang isa 25%, 25, 25, another 25. So kung tulo ka round, that is 75%. And then wrinkled, usa raman 25%. A total of 100%. And then you will be asked to write the genotypic ratio. You had to write the homozygous dominant first, then hetero, is to homozygous recessive. So, usa ka homozygous dominant, dayon duha ka hetero. Kani hetero means laylay is like letter, big letter, small letter. Then, usa na pod ka pure nga recessive. Homozygous recessive. And the phenotypic ratio, dominant is to recessive trait or allele. So, 3 kabuok ni appear nga round o usa kabuok ni appear nga wrinkled. Yes, inana lang siya. Okay. So, to review, whenever you will be asked to write the genotypic ratio, kay you write the homozygous dominant first. The katong pure letters, big letters, dayon pila ka buok mix nga letters or heterozygous dominant, anya homozygous recessive, katong small letters. Those will be in the form of numbers. For example, you have katoganiha 1 is to 2 is to 1. So, ihapon ninyo. So, pila ka buok all capital letters, usa, then pila ka buok lahi-lahi letters, pila ka buok gagmayng letters, nana. For phenotypic ratio, just the ratio, pila ka buok ni gawas nga dominant phenotype. So, tulo to ka round. Unya, pila ka buok ni gawas nga recessive phenotype. So, usa ra to ka wrinkled. Yan na siya. Okay, so this time we can also combine different kinds na pod of genotypes among the children nila sa F1 generation. So to review, if we combine both heterozygous and another heterozygous, the result would be usa ka dominant, homozygous dominant or pure capital letters. Kato ganina, review ni siya. So if daw we combine puros hetero versus hetero, ang resulta kay inani. Usa ka pure nga dominant, usa ka pure nga recessive, and duha ka heterozygous. So sakto iyang giingon. 25% for homozygous dominant, 50% kay duha man ka buok ang hybrid or heterozygous, 25 ang homozygous recessive. If this seems confusing, pwede sad ta mo slow down. Pero I think maybe what will confuse you is if dili pa ka kahibalo mo distinguish between which one. Unsa ni siya, homozygous, heterozygous. Basta makakita gani ka og pure capital letters or all capital letters, dominant na silang duha. And basta dominant, siya pud ang mugawas nga trait. If makita ka og capital letter, unya small letter ang pares, that is hetero, meaning mixed. Lahi-lahi na dominant ug na recessive nga pair. And in the ruling, pag mag-abot sila, always lang pud daw mo appear si dominant. So daog gyapon is dominant ani. So example, if ang dominant kay round, mugawas gyud ang round nga seed. Nana. But if you will see small letters both, ang resulta pud ani kay mugawas na si recessive. Only mugawas si recessive kung mag-abot ang both small letters. So if small r stands for wrinkled, nag-abot si wrinkled and another wrinkled, the resulting is a wrinkled seed. So, yun na siyang rules. And these are the F2 generation. Muna siya itong gi-answer na ganiha. So, what do the peas look like? So, for example, peas in a pod. Muna yung pod, sulanan sa pea. Imo ni siyang abrihan. Inaani daw ang sulod. So, naay round, medyo smooth, or naay wrinkled. So, yun na. Some of these peas will have smooth texture. Others will have wrinkled. So, very patient ni si Mendel, no? Kaya iya pa ni gipa kuha og seeds niya po, gipatubo pa niya, then iya na po cross-pollinate. And now, let's try to test among the second generations na po sa mga anak nila. Ito siyang ipang cross. 2 possible crosses is if we mix these. Maybe confusing. Let's try to start with the first one. Seed shape gihapon. Dayon, big R stands for round, R stands for wrinkled. Example, puros round seeds times round seeds. Pero ang usa dominant, purely homozygous dominant, ang usa kay heterozygous, meaning dominant siya nga round yang nigawas pero di ay to inside sa genes niya kay dominant plus recessive lang. So how are you going to do that is himo ka og box kani Punnett square gihapon, then sunod imo dayang isulat diri ang letters. So we will just agree to write the first set on the side. I-divide nimo ang letter, imo bulagon. Ana. Ya, imo rang pares-pareson. Kani R. Kani siya big R, small r. Kani siya big R, sa ibabaw big R. Ya, kari po big R, R. Sometimes if you would be looking at the upper one, you'd be writing small r and the big R, but just fix it to like this lang. Mauna lang ang capital letter. Okay. So, inani siya. Combine on the sides. And then the ratio would be like this. Na atay duha ka pure nga homozygous dominant. Nya na ay duha ka homozygous recessive. So, what would be, you will be writing the possible genotypes. So, sakto na duha ka inani. Kani po duha po siya kabuok. Phenotype. This one is all dominant, so round. Kani kay dominant and recessive, pero dominant man gihapon ang usa, so round gihapon ni. Still round, and this one all round. So the ratio would be, actually it's usa ka ay sayop. Let's have homozygous is this is the genotype listing. Big R, small r, sakto. Yung sa phenotype kay round sila tanan, upat ka buok round. Genotypic ratio, how we're going to write the genotypic ratio? First number stands for puros big letters. So, duha ka buok is to hybrid nga letters. Duha is to pila ka buok recessive 0. You may write your answers this way. Kani siya kay kuha na niya simplify or lowest term. Let's not have this. Kani lang ato tulo. And then the phenotypic ratio, all would be round. Upat ka round is to 0 ang wrinkled. Nana lang. How about if we combine wrinkled seeds versus round seeds? Kung nasagay ito gawas ang wrinkled only when mag-abot ang puro small letters. So that would be, if atong i-guess, small r times, it depends on sa iyang ganahan. So this one. Usually given is siya. Okay. So for example, if kaniyang given, small r, big R, small r, again, isulat lang gihapon na nimo diri sa kilid. Nya iabot-abot, pero unahon ang capital letter. Puros gagmay letter. Ana. That's it. So the result would be the genotype. The genotype would be pila ka buok. Pila ka wait. Ato sang isulat. So naatay inani nga kuan ka buok, duha ka buok. Unya naatay gagmay nga letters. Duha pud ka buok. Phenotype. So whenever you are asked to answer for genotype, that means you are asked to list down the possible gene combinations. The phenotype is the physical characteristics na makita sa real life. So this one has a big R, so dominant man ni si round. Mugawas yun ni si round. Next, same running ubos. Kani siya kay small man ni puro, so wrinkled. Kani po siya wrinkled. Ana. So phenotype would be naa kay round, duha naa kay ring called duha. Imong ratio, genotypic ratio, katong 3 numbers. So pila ka dominant homozygous? Wala. Pila ka hetero? Duha. Pila ka recessive nga pure? Duha. Next is phenotypic ratio. Pila ka dominant ni gawas? Duha ka round ni gawas. Is to pila ka recessive ni gawas? Duha. So inana. And you'll be asked for percentage like how much of the offspring would be round seeds. So pila ang chances and then looking at this naa kay 50% chances nga round ang resulta. Unya another 50% wrinkled. Nana siya. Okay, proceed na ta to review. So if you mix homozygous versus heterozygous, the offspring would be 50-50. Like that. Kaniha. This is called the test cross because the offspring have the same genotype as the parents. So it's possible nga pure ang usa. So inato na jud pag-use ang crosses class, monohybrid cross. And then you will be answering the activity sheets. I-follow lang ninyo. Sometimes, ang uban kay isulat ilahang, example, ilahang Punnett square na. Ang uban kay isulat nila sa ibabaw. Ang una, ilang female diri, male dira. It would not matter kay pindira na sasabot ang result, ana parehas ra. Okay. Pero for uniformity, if ang example ninyo diri sa ibabaw gisugod kani, pero in other activities, let's start writing on this side. Diri na purang sunod. Especially if wala siya kanang gender, like dili maklaro. Like plants siya. Pero sometimes male and females kay ilaha males diri nga side and females diri nga side. So across. Okay, so there were 3 main laws that were deduced after the studies of Mendel, and these are based on the things that he found out. So inheritable factors, or the genes, are responsible for all the heritable characteristics, or it was responsible for all of the characteristics that were passed on from parents to offspring. So ang reason na gidani kay ang mga genes ra gyud nganong nipasa ni siya. Kay ni-pass on siya, na-divide sa meiosis, and then na-pass on, na-combine na put sa fertilization, and na-daghan na put sa mitosis, and so on. So, and also, the physical or external na makitaan, ang characteristic yun siya nga makita, the phenotype is just based on the gene code or the genotype inside. So, inana siya. And each trait is based on 2 genes, one from the mother and one from the father. So, ang kada trait daw, gikan gyud daw na sa mama or papa niya, wala na sila, combine, and then, what ang result? Okay, so true breeding individuals are homozygous, or both alleles are the same. When we say pure breeding or true breeding, kato siyang pure siyang capital letters or pure siyang small letters. Let's start with, there are 3 laws na na-create out of this. Law of dominance, which was the obvious one. There will be a dominant trait and there will be a recessive trait. The dominant trait will always come out. The recessive trait will not, if paired with the dominant trait, and will only come out if magkuyog ang gagmay nga letters or puros recessive. Ano na siya? So, only one form of the trait will appear in the next generation. This is for complete dominance nga law. When you will be in grade 9, mamekos na sila. Nahay time nga magkuyog white and red ang resulta na himong pink. Wala ni dominant si red. So na inana, which grade na lang to siya. Pero karon easy mode lang sa ta. Complete dominance, where naara joy isa nga mo appear. So this is mendelian genetics nga mo dominate jud ang isa. in non-Mendelian genetics, grade 9 ninyo, na mga traits nga either magkuyog sila together or and so on. Sige. So in Mendelian genetics, law of dominance, only one form of the trait will appear in the next generation. And that trait or that form will be the dominant one. And kanisya. For example, pure dominant, pure recessive, porous hybrid, but the hybrid will all be round seeds, meaning kani jud ang magdalagbida, the round. Ana, law of dominance. There might be 3 different genotypes. This, and this. And this. Ay, same rin ni silang duha. So 3 different, but there are only 2 phenotypes which will be physically seen. So usa kaya ay tulo ka yellow, then green. So yellow and green. Next law is law of segregation. Segregation or separation or pagkalahi-lahi. During the formation of the gametes, 2 alleles are responsible for a trait separate from each other, and these will recombine at fertilization. So that was shown a while ago. For example, kato siya, in a Punnett square, that's why we have to separate daw kay inani daw ni siya inigmit nila. The genes will tend to separate, to sort themselves out. Nga example round siya diri dayon mag-recombine na po sila gikan ni sa mamang father nga side and didi nga side gikan sa mother nga side, and they will sort themselves out inana. So like this. Oh, I actually have a picture. So masegregate daw ang duha, tall and short, and then on other side pag yun male ra tanan diri, female diri, unya mag-recombine sila. Okay, that was law of segregation. Next is law of independent assortment. Sometimes you can cross, it's possible nga, because it's not as simple as crossing one trait. There will be times when more than one. So polyhybrid or dihybrid crosses. For example, you're going to combine different types of seed shapes versus lahi po siya nga height, plant height. So in law of independent assortment, alleles for different na mga traits, example, para ni sa flower color niya, another pag yun, i-combine ni mo sa height. Ang different traits daw are distributed to the sex cells independently and of one another. So in time, we will also try to learn about this one through dihybrid crosses. Okay, which I will have in another video lang sa. Okay, skip lang sa nina to. I will have a separate video on this kaya para dili siya maningning. Oh, see? You're going to see a lot of letters, pero easy rin siya. Okay, so summary of Mendel's laws. In law of dominance, when you cross the parent, the dominant trait will come out. Even if hybrid ang results, puro sila tall, tanan. In law of segregation, mo separate you daw parents versus ang parents ng mga alleles, and that is seen in the Punnett square. Unya, it will result to variations like this. In independent assortment, if you combine 2 or more na traits, for example, this is for shape, this one is for color, magkuyog sila in a way, pero maglahi na sila maglahi sila rules. Dili daw magsagol so let me clarify. Dili daw independent assortment, dili daw magsagol ang mixing, which we will see in dihybrid crosses. Law of dominance, law of segregation. To siya this one for independent assortment in a dihybrid cross, for example, you're going to mix different traits such as seed shape versus colors. Inani siyang mahitabo. Like, maimo pa ni siyang, within each parent, imo pa siyang himuan o combination. So, di siyang sagol dito. Nya, imo pa dyan iabot. Kaning big R, kaning R. Then, ang Y, pag niya ipares na po, ang Y ipares. So, lahi daw sila o ganap. So, independent assortment. For every trait, it will be independent sa pagka-mix sa another po yun na trait. Though they can combine afterwards. I will also send another video on this. Okay, so I think in this video, you will be able to answer the monohybrid. Ayaw lang sa yung dihybrid ha. Dihybrid man eh. Duha ka traits. Ang atong practice for the week and for the next week is about monohybrid crosses. Describing unsay mga genotypes, unsay mga phenotypes, unsay mga ratio, unsay mga percentages. So katong magipang solve nato kaniha nga examples. You will now be able to answer the activities na ara po'y mga examples. Nana. So for any questions, you may comment or you may message me directly. Okay, so pwede po mo leave with questions. I might be having some extra time to answer the questions. Sige, so this is it for now, ang monohybrid crosses, and then try to answer the activities. I will be sending more activities. Oh, what if we try on some examples? Why not? Arita sa katong inyong assignment. Okay, so we have this example. Okay, let's have this one. In rabbits, black fur is dominant to white fur. If you cross purely, wait, let's see. Black fur man daw ang, so, imo ba ito identify ni mo daan nung say dominant. Si black dominant. So, kani nga B male, this is pure nga black. Kani white ni siyang small nga B. So, you have to point out the letters. What are the possible genotypes and phenotypes of the offspring? What is the percentage for each type? So, na-answer dere pero maybe I can show you how it's done. Mag-drawing ka, unya, iyahang style kay gi-write man niya ang first set sa ibabaw. We can have the ones that we did as like in anipod female diri. Pwede ra, same ra man siya result. Nya i-pair big letter, small letter, big letter, small letter. Ihapon nimo pila ka buok. Ilista dayon nimong genotypes. Yes, naa kay capital letters poros, which would result to black kay capital B for black. Unya pila ka buok? Duha. So 2 is equal to 50% since 1, 2, 3, 4, 25, 25, 25, 25. Duha ka 25, 50. Ana lang, logic. Dayon, hetero, na atay nakita ang duha. This would also be black since na-adjoy letter B nga dako, so dominant, black. Pila ka buok? Duha, 50%. So how to answer the next ones? The sets are already given to you. So actually they gihatag daan. So kanin siya akong gibot, gibali man ako. So pwede rin mo follow mo niya. Let me do that again. Big letter sa ibabaw, yung male. Sa ubos kay female. Same ra dyan nag-result. So pairing, big letters, kani big letters. Kani write the big letter first and a small letter. Kani na po, big letter, small letter. Pila ka buok capital letters? Duha. Pila ka hybrid? Duha. Now by recessive nga homozygous? None. So yun na siya. This is how you answer the activities. Unya, how about another example pag yun? This one. Okay. So, kani siya. Complete dominance ang Mendelian genetics. Meaning, na isa gyud na mo dominate. In non-Mendelian, na nato yung mga other rules na, which I said, not yet sa ta. Okay, so brown eyes, situation A, brown eyes is dominant to light eyes. So, kaya how do I use my pen in this environment? For a while, let me figure it out. Kay dugay na kung wala nagamit ani nga pen. Okay, here comes. Okay, so brown eyes is dominant to light eyes. Mr. Orion has blue or light eyes. Mrs. Orion has heterozygous for brown eyes. What are the possible eye colors of their son, Keelan Orion? Use letter B. So na siya gihata nga letter. If we will have the big letter, it will be the dominant one. So, blue light eyes. Brown, yes, if letter B, kay mao ni siyang dominant nga brown. Oops. Hirap pala magsulat dito. Sige, brown. Unya. So, blue man or light eyes man yung usa, so recessive man na siya. That only means puros day ni small letter B ang parent. So, kailangan dyan mo i-figure out. Next, Mrs. Orion is heterozygous for brown eyes. Though she has brown eyes, heterozygous man, so we know it's capital B and small b. Nana lang. And we will write the first parent diri. Dayon, next na po. Ang una lang na-mention, ano lang itong rule. And small b, para dili siya ma-confusing sa inyo, ha? Usually that's male is then female dari. Okay. Then, you make the combinations. Write the big letter first. Kani, iparis pa na siya. So, ana ra jud pares. By pair. Babaw, ubos. Babaw, ubos. Ana. Then you are going to list down the genotypes. Genotypes, again, gene codes. So, puros mga letters. You're seeing B, this one. You are seeing talagkama. You're seeing another. So, I want you to write or list down everything na lang. Another pagidiri. Then, naapadyo small letters, duha. Ana. Then, the possible phenotypes. You're seeing if this is B, big letter, small letter, dominant na siya. So, brown eyes to siya na ay brown. Oh, so hard to write. Oops. Na ay brown. And then, naapod kay makitaan nga this is puro small letters. It's puros recessive. So, light. You also have light. Make sure to write the apelido. Eyes. Oh, kalisuda day. Sulat diri oy. Okay. Percent. Ang iyahang percentage. For brown eyes, pila kabok brown eyes? 50. Since duha man. Percent. Suday. That's percent, guys. Dayon, pila ka light eyes? 50 kay duha pod. Dang. Hirap naman. Na siya pag-answer. In the next week, I will be sending you this file to answer. Kamu na mag-figure out na ano siya yung mga tricky nga pagkasulti. So, naapoy letter gihatag what to use. We will always use the same letter. It's just that big letter, small letter lang. Dili kay B for brown eyes niya. Light eyes, L. No, just use one letter. Okay, so for questions, always you may message or reach out in the way that you can, respectfully and in the right time. Without sige class. So thank you so much for spending time and watching this video, and please answer your assignments. And then ato ta sa link. And if the links are not working, Muwork ra to siya. I think nakaragi issue sa Google Forms for now. If not, I'll find another way. So, pero pag-answer sa karon. So, that's it for today and thank you so much. Goodbye everyone. God bless.